Hey everybody, it's Hardware here with the Dermanoff Clan News Network. We are doing day one of Fleet Week. We'll be showing off multiple ships, mainly RSI and the excitement surrounding the Polaris being put on the showroom. I wanted to start this video off a little different. We haven't been to ArcCorp in a while, which is the Coruscant of Star Citizen. This is the show center. I forgot what it's called. The Tobin Center, or is that New Babbage? Either way, I happen to be flying down to ArcCorp from Bajani Point and came across it, so I thought I would show it off and just kind of how cool ArcCorp is in theory, and they're still spreading it out as the city planet. But you can see vehicles down there parked going to the show. Those I don't think are players, so I'm assuming it's representation of important people stopping by and getting, lot A type of preference, where the rest of us have to go over to the public parking area, which is somewhere this way. If I get turned around, I might have to pause this because our corp is a bit of a pain, but there it is. You can see all the different manufacturers of some of the stuff in the game have advertising on the buildings. It's pretty cool. See all the little hustle and bustle down below, simulated cars and houses. All right, let me throw on here with the ATC. Oop, move the mouse back. Get a landing bay. There it is. Haven't been in my 325 in a while. This is the Interceptor, whatever you want to call their military version of the 300 series, is 325A. I got it customized long before there was anything called a paint job or skins in the game. So mine, instead of it being stock white, is obsidian black. Kind of cool. Show you her as I get out. Oh, there it is. I'm like, I'm going to the wrong hangar. That hangar's too big for me. And it looks like there are some people parked in front of my hangar. So this is going to be fun. We got a Rambler, I think that is. I'm not 100% sure what the one on the ground is. Let's take a look. Oh, it's just an Aurora. Squeeze in between these dead ships here. Someone call a salvage team. Get a vulture over here. Or reclaimer. Chew them up. Alright, here we go for a nice swink. Wow, dead in the box. That's what she said. Anyway, flip on over to our Moby Glass. Go ahead and throw some, don't want to do it manual. Fill it up, I know we didn't use a whole lot, but you never know. So anyway, just a quick tour of the 325. We'll probably see it in a couple days, but I got this loaded. These are all, I believe, supposed to be functioning down the road. Coffee and... Hey, Solda. Oh, no. What's up? I just realized I didn't leave it on automatic talk when I was doing my stream. I'm glad you popped in. I would have done the whole video with no sound.
Oh shit. Doing another?
Yeah, I was gonna do uh, the Polaris since I didn't get a chance to do it last night after the Idris and then the Idris oopsie. Ugh.
I mean, I've never been to jail actually, so
Oh, you've never seen Klesher?
nope. I guess I'm good at running. I don't know. Never been to jail.
All right. Sorry, everybody. We'll double back here. This is Hardware with the Dermanoff Clan News Network doing day one of Fleet Week. I did not realize I didn't put my headset on voice activated, so you missed everything I was saying a few minutes ago. But as a double back, we are on our Corp Area 18, which is the city planet, and we were doing a flyby over Area 18 to show you the buildings and the advertisements. You can see cars driving around underneath. And that round circular building that I was talking about, but you didn't hear me, is the center that we'll have to take a tram over. And the neat thing about it was, as I flew over it, you could see all the different ships that the rich people of the verse must have parked and gotten uh, right away admittance, whereas the rest of us lowlives have to drive all the way over to the regular landing area and then take the tram over to the event. Our Corp is a little on the older side, but still on the cool side. It's, like I said, our Coruscant of Star Citizen. But here we are in Area 18, looking for a tram. Can I run to this one in time? No, no, it's like Star Wars Galaxies all over again. Just closes right as you get there. All right, we're in one. All right, sorry, Solda. How you been?
Pretty good. Back on and some stuff to do today.
Everybody, we have Solda in the room that popped in to say hi. Didn't know I was filming.
Or maybe I did and I just won't get it up.
There you go. In fact, I didn't have it set up on my headset. Man, I'm a mess today. And as you can see, we are now in the inner ring, and those are the ships that you could see from outside. We took the tram into the inner ring where we were before to see Invictus Day 1. So today we technically have RSI, Origin, Argo, and Consolidated Outland. In fact, I don't remember seeing Origin, so we'll have to go take a gander. All right, out front here we have the clothing shops. I could use some because of my getting arrested on the Idris yesterday. I have no special stuff, but you can buy, what is this, Argo? You got RSI in black. got the memorial here for the Navy. Flip back so you can get a cool perspective of it. Over here we have Aegis and we have Anvil, a nice olive drab. Come up the stairs, Consolidated Outland, Tumbrel, and Crusader. A little seated area where it wouldn't be Star Citizen if there was not someone standing on a couch. And on the other side, for clothing options, we have Origin, and we have our Invictus jacket wear and Misk, which I'm surprised they didn't put a Mirai shirt out. Oh, and we have another one standing on a table. Man, that bug just will not go away. Little recruitment posters and everything. Another memorial. It's cool stuff. This is Squadron 999. This will tell you. Does it really tell you? So Squadron 999 are kind of like the Blue Angels and whatever the Navy or the NASA test pilots would be considered in our real time. They test all the new products and they fly the hell out of what's out there now to take things to the limits. It's supposed to be the best of the best and the most reckless because they fly everything. All right. So, like I said yesterday, I did a quick peek into here because, again, it was a little bit of a giddy little schoolgirl because the Polaris is out. Don't want to be jumping up and down, so to speak, in Twitch and YouTube. Uh, so we'll go take a look at it a little more mild-mannered. Again, we have a recruitment poster. I really think they should have done something other than a recruitment poster here, but technically this is the military week, so obviously they're doing that. You can see her nose. Look at that. That chonky Polaris just peeking out saying, "Come see me," and I'm just going to go ahead and do so. As much as I want to keep staring at it, though, we'll take a look like always. Here's the map. We got stuff on all corners, and we have stuff downstairs, which has only got a couple, one, two, oh, there's the Origin stuff. I must not have gone over there. All right, so here is the Polaris. That's what we're going to start off with because this is the highlight of the day. Here's the sign for the Polaris. Can barely get the whole thing in. I'm not going to try going to one of the other ships and glitching the camera over because it was tough to do. But the top is pretty sleek and flat. I would have expected a little bit more chunky bobbles to the top of it. But that is where the hangar is, sitting towards more of the rear of the top deck of the Polaris. And as you can see, much like the RSI configurations of ships, we have the glass and the struts in the front of the ship, giving it that RSI look. We have a manual turret. That is a nose or chin turret right there. I'm sorry. I'm assuming those are antennas because those don't look like manufacturer for guns. But this takes a minute to kind of, I mean, just look at the size. These checkered holes are what I'm gathering is what the torpedo tubes look like when they're closed. Um, a lot of the ships, you can close the guns up into them unless they're these giant turrets, and missile tubes you can close up. But I'm assuming that's what this is, closed up. These are going to be, oh, not going to be, they are size 10 torpedoes. Those are the biggest in the game. Ultimately, this is a silent strike weapon, for a capital ship attack. You use the Polaris as more of a sniper. Now size 10, size 9, because they've nerfed the Retaliator and the Eclipse. I don't want to say nerfed, it makes sense that they wouldn't be so fast, but they have slowed down the torpedoes. So using a size 10 torpedo against a Mustang or a Aurora or a 300 series Origin ship um, will probably not work unless they're just not paying attention, because they fly much slower, but their damage is devastating. What's up, Gibbles? Um, Doing a video for the event, but the oh no, you're fine. The size 9 and size 10s will do devastating damage in a capital ship. Even if you're shooting at the front of the ship and they're going full bore to get out of the way, you'll probably catch an Idris or a Javelin mid or the rear and do some significant damage. So they're just trying to calibrate the weapons for their intended use. You know, you're not supposed to be chasing fighters down with size 10 torpedoes. Coming here in the back, this is the rear of the Polaris. It is so big and absolutely sexy with this cross pattern. This ship is gigantic. This is considered a Corvette class. Uh, I kind of refer to them as sub-capital ships. It's got capital components and it's used to fight capital ships, but it doesn't have the enormous size and configuration that a full capital ship would have, like a Idris Kraken Javelin. And then you have super capitals and super carriers like the Bengal and stuff like that. So you can see all the detail. The I don't know if these are supposed to be space brakes or what these are. I didn't show them off entirely. But if you look at the top, those look like those come out. Those look like some kind of antenna arrays. And then these things kind of come out like a space brake. I don't know what the hell those would be. Looking down the hull, you can see they've put a lot of time and effort into the intricacies of the design. I'm not sure what that piece is up top there, if that comes out or not, but that's pretty cool looking. Could be a rule of cool, but I don't know. And then you have all the way back up to the front. They do not have the interior done of the Polaris, which is a absolute shame. Uh, so we are not able to, oh, and here goes the lag under the Polaris. So we will not be able to go into it, but you'll be able to see just the sheer size. I'll put myself to the landing gear. I mean, this is monstrous. Kind of gives you the feel of walking under the 890. Again, all the detail, the little lights, the giant rear landing gear, which is even bigger than the front, and the huge doors that, I mean, this thing looks like it's the size of an Aurora, just a door, one of the doors that are opening up for it. Now, the Polaris is not fully completed, so every time you walk by, it seems to lag a bit, but I don't care. If I had to go 1 frame per second, this ship is worth the effort. And look at the detail inside the landing. Who the heck is going to look inside the landing gear? The stickers have words on them, little pipes, and I mean, the detail they put into this. Very, very excited and happy for this ship. Very excited and happy for the ship. So that is the RSI Polaris. That was going to be DC's home capital ship. And then once I saw the Idris, fell in love with the Idris just as much. So the Idris is going to be our home in the stars, and this is going to be my daily operations ship when just a few of us go out and do stuff. The hangar is supposed to hold a medium-ish fighter. The dimensions of the hangar, I don't know if, obviously they're finalized because the ship is done, but I don't know if they've put the final dimensions out 100% because it still seems to be semi-speculatory. But sabers are supposed to be able to fit in there at least. Uh, so that's at a minimum, be able to stick a Comet, a Saber, the new Firebird, or a Raven in there. I am hoping to be able to squeeze a Scorpius or the F8C Lightning, but that probably will not be happening. All right, going back to the oldies but goodies, we'll take a look here. This is the constellation Aquila. This is the science vessel of the constellation line. You have a quote-unquote gunship, which originally was going to be our our home ship, but this stupid game just makes you keep upgrading. Then you have the Aquila, which is your science vessel, and then a Taurus, which is your um, cargo vessel, which also has a tractor beam. Then you have variants like over there, the white, that would be the Phoenix, and they never put the Constellation Emerald, but the Constellation Emerald is just the Phoenix with this like pearlescent green emerald skin to it. I don't think there's any other difference other than the skin. Back to the Aquila though, if you look above the command deck, there's like a little knob on the other Connies. That would be a gun. On the Aquila, the difference is that is a sensor array, so you can scan and do stuff. This version of the Constellations has curved, kind of bulbous glass. I like it, I don't like it. I think it's cool, but with everything RSI being so angular and sharp, that it just kind of sits different. If that would have been on top of a ship, as like on top of the Polaris or on top of an Idris or something being the command bridge, that I think would be more appropriate. But uh, in the front, it just looks funny next to all the RSI brothers as far as the look. But it's a cool looking ship. It was one of the first ones I fell in love with. It was one of the biggest ones out at the time. And yes, bigger is better. You got your P52 Merlins on the back. You got a P72 Archimedes. I can't Archimedes. That's what it is. The That's more of the luxury version of the snub on the Phoenix, but this is the Merlin. This is the first ship that they had introduced to have a symbiotic relationship with a host ship, and this does work now. It's worked for a couple years, I believe now. But that small ship, the canopy is on the inside of the rear of the ship, which we'll see. You can jump into the cockpit, you launch, you fall out the back, you go doing whatever you've got to do, shopping for the day, then you come back up and you dock, and the ship sets in the back under the, that's more under the ass, not of the ship. It looks good, and if that is your play style, then this ship for one or two people, 1 to 3 people, I guess more or less, would be excellent. Man, that Phoenix or the Polaris is killing my FPS. This is the cargo area. Now the Aquila difference between the Aquila and the other variants. This comes with a Ursa rover. is happening here. Okay, we are going up. Get off. All right, so here we have a chin turret. You get in that, you hop down. Again, that does not exist. So I'm assuming either that is incorrect or you're going to be able to get into the sensor right now. I don't know. I don't want to hit it because it takes a little bit to get into them. But you got your hanging chairs here. Go stand on the glass. You got your captain's chair, pilot chair. And then the side guys work on your shields and specs of the ship. Very nice front end again. While the round design does not match the other ships, it is smoother and it's cleaner, and it gives a very cool view of up and down inside of the bridge of this ship. It just doesn't match. You can see the Phoenix over there, how big that front end is, and it's angular, so it just doesn't match. Come in here, you got a little seating area. This is supposed to pop up. I don't know if it does anymore or right now or in the center, but you can click on that and a table pops up, and then you can eat, and then you can put it back down, and then you have open floor. That way you can move around with gear. Speaking of, there's your toilet. You got your, is that a seat? No. Fire extinguishers. There is fire. Well, there will be fire in the next patch or so. Got your bunks. Very cool looking. Now you have your rear area. Again, you have another fire extinguisher. They're being put as they update the ships through gold standard. Any interior vessel will have fire extinguishers placed to get rid of the creeping death that will occur down the road. I do not know what the SCU cargo capacity is of the Constellations. And I'm going down. Don't want to do that. I don't know what the cargo capacity is, but you can do don't do that again. You can do a rover, any of the tumbrils. I don't believe a Nova will fit though. But you can put a lot of vehicles in here, or you can see the Magna floor. You can put cargo boxes, or you can go to a distribution center and whatever and have the cargo put in here. It's got a decent cargo. You got your airlocks on the side, I believe both. Yep. You come to the back of here, open sesame. You're gonna have your components, like always. Now they're all usable. I don't think they're usable yet in this ship. I don't. Yeah, this ship is not a gold standard yet. So these will open up, so you can pull out components and replace them. And then here's the snub. That is again the P-52 Merlin, and she just pops right up with the canopy. You walk up on the deck, you hop into the ship, and then it just drops you off the back, and then you go through the same kind of docking procedure you would if you were docking a big ship like the 890, an Idris, a Polaris, any of the ones that will require docking collars. The same kind of lineup to get underneath. Now we're not going to run through all of the Connies. Most of them are pretty much the same. This is the Andromeda. Try to get to the sign so you can see it. Nope, that's the Taurus. That must be the Andromeda on the other side. So the Taurus, as I said earlier, is the cargo vessel. That means there should be a... I wonder if it's sucked up into the ship. I don't know how that works. I don't know if that's where this comes out of in here, because you do not have a snub fighter for the Taurus. There's supposed to be a cargo tractor beam, a sizable one at that. I'm assuming that's what is in place of the snub fighter, because that would give you a decent angle to put stuff in here. So I'm assuming, though I've never used it, there is a tractor beam to put your cargo into here. You have your cargo space. The interior of this ship is a little bit more dumbed down. It is a base type of ship, just for hauling cargo, kind of like getting yourself a U-Haul. Same angular design with the glass. Connies are definitely a cool ship. We're going to run under my chonky favorite here. Get to the other side. I don't see the Andromeda. Oh yeah, that's got to be it then. Yep, there's the big lasers. Okay, that's got to be the Andromeda. Let's prove myself right. There she is. This was my first big ship, the Constellation Andromeda. This was going to be DC's ship, and it looks bigger than I say it looks bigger than it is. It's not that it isn't big, the ship. It is long, like a caterpillar, so to speak. So it's a hallway with a whole bunch of shit to the side, and so it isn't big enough to be able to have people suiting up and getting ready to go do raids and stuff that we like to do. So I needed something that had some room to it and some amenities for my guys, which is why we went to the Polaris. It has mess hall, and then we went all the way up to the Idris because it has everything in the game. Man, this Polaris is killing me here. So again, there's your Merlin. Here's the back. You got the same cargo space. The Andromeda is a cheaper version of the Aquila. It does not come with the Ursa rover, but you can obviously get one separately, which I had done, and put that in your ship however you want. This is the Phoenix. Uh, this is something I am definitely going to get in game eventually, just because I like the white. It stands out. You can see how clean this is. There's the P-72. You've got the little fins that come out with the rockets. That's what is just under that glass. Those actually come out with rockets, or they could be tucked in, so it's less ominous looking while you're flying your luxury passengers around. You do have your guns. This is the top of the line model for the Constellation. It has a little bit of all of everything and then some. I will go inside this because the configuration of a Phoenix is 100% different than all of the others. Maybe we'll be going to see the Phoenix. Still getting used to the new F command. It's like you have to hold it. There we go. God. Oh, you son of a... There we go. Jesus. Alright, so this is the crew quarter area. So you have pretty much the same setup. It just looks nicer. The black and the white is classic to our era right now. The black and the white just looks cool. On the inside, even the shielding and the molding in here is very clean and pretty looking. A lot of lights. The seats are more plush. I wouldn't mind that for my house. They look pretty awesome. You got your upper and lower turrets. And once you leave the very snazzy but crew section, things change. So now you have hardwood floors, lit up stairs, and all kinds of very cool architecture going on. Here's one room. You can close this, which I'll do in a second. You get yourself a little fish tank, bed with sheets. You can close that up, or you can open it up. Come over here, you got the same. This is for the passengers. This is for the passenger gameplay or bringing your friends around, but you can eventually pick up people like an airplane and bring people to other planets for money and mission running, um, which is kind of cool if you're into that. This is the only Connie that has glass on the hull, so people can sit, relax, obviously play cards, and look out into space, which makes this one of the reasons why I love this ship is the views it has. That's why I love the 600 series. That's why I love the 890. You have your sunroof, which does not obviously open, so I guess it would just be a roof of glass. But the whole ship is just cool. You got your bar. These eventually will be able to be really stocked. So when you come into port and fuel up and repair, you can restock, and your food and your beverages will be placed into your ship. And so this bar and your kitchens and your mess halls will be active. Further down, this is a hot tub. I don't know if this is the button to open it. I think last year this didn't open too. I'll have to ask Wolf, he has one, why that does not open. That's just a component. Anyway, this is supposed to open up and be a giant hot tub. In case, you want a small pool in space. Why not? Here's a master suite. You got obviously like a king or a queen size bed and some models. Be able to decorate that however you want. Some more components. Coming to the back. More components. And then there's your P-72. So as you can see, the crew areas are clean, but not as fancy. Now here's the one thing that nobody really notices or pays attention. Oh, look at all the hardwood floors. Oh, they're so cool. However, if you look down, boom! What does this secret button do? So you get onto this little plate here. It's going to take me an hour to use the F key on it. There we go. Now I do get stuck down in the cargo hold, but this is the cargo hold. You can come down here and you can see the cargo hold of the ship. A lot of people miss this. If you're not looking around and clicking on stuff, this is kind of a secret little gem. Go back up. Oh, all right. We probably shouldn't have done that because last year, for some reason, it didn't go back up. I had to quit out. All right, come back to the airlock, do a floor tap, and down we go. So those are your RSI main ships, the Constellation series, and now the new Polaris. We'll jog over here to the side. Again, this is a free fly week as we're running. So if you do not have the game, you can make an account and fly for free. If you have the game, all of these ships are rentable, except the Lightning here. This is an F-7C Lightning. This is the civilian version of the military heavy fighter. I have one of these. I love it. Was I saying 7? That's the new ship that just came out. I meant 8 if I did say 7. F-8C. That is your heavy fighter. One Empire. All right, these ships over here, oh, they definitely did not make an entire wing of them. These are your Mustangs. I could personally care less about them. These are some of your very cheaper starter ships. The Delta, I believe, is the fighter version. Yeah, light fighter. You can rent. It's got a cool skin on it now. If you're kind of like into the snake feel. I believe the difference between the Mustang Delta and the others are an extra gun, I think, and missiles, but I could be wrong. Is that the same thing? Looks like it. Yep. So they just have the, oh, I guess that's because it's Fleet Week. So they just put the military versions out. But that is your Mustang Delta. The big chonky thing here in the middle is the new SRV that just came out last patch. This is the tow truck, the tugboat, the whatever you need pulled, hauled, or tractored ship of the verse right now. That is the ginormous, biggest tractor beam, I believe, in the game. And you can shoot that at things like an Idris all the way down to small crates. I don't know if you could aim that at a small crate, but I'm assuming you could, and then you can move everything with that. Vehicles and anything you need moved. That is what this does. Obviously, you have your VTOL thrusters, so you can be stationary and hover to move things around. I do not have this. Um, I'll definitely buy it in game because it's definitely a utility that will be needed. But that's a neat ship. It definitely will have its uses down the road. Over here we have the Argos. This is going to be the Argo Cargo, I'm assuming. The MPUV cargo variant. This is your pickup truck, your U-Haul, where you have your cargo area is static and in the back. It's got the Magna floor so you can drop stuff down and secure it. Um, that is what that is for, plus a rumble seat, looks like, and your pilot. We'll get to the 1T in a second. Over here, this is the personnel carrier. Same setup, but now you have a pod underneath where you can bring 8 people down planet side. So if you're on a Idris or you're in a Javelin or something of a substantial size, you're not going to want to bring, and in the Javelin's case, you will be unable to bring the ship planet side. So you'll need little shuttle ships like this to bring down a group of people if you're not in something like a Valkyrie or a dropship configuration. This is the 1T. 1T. Now, I don't know why they didn't just have this set up and you could buy the modules for it. I think this is an afterthought because of the cargo refactor patch that they're doing right now and the cargo boxes that you can buy in game for your stuff. But either way, you can see the Argo frame itself is the 1T, where you've got the cockpit and the top piece with the legs wide out. I'm holding one of those 2 modules, but this one is empty. So the purpose of this is not to have your static pickup truck or U-Haul feel to it. You fly and you can pick stuff up. You got a tractor beam right here in the back. That's what that quad laser thing is, from what I understand. To put cargo underneath and drag it along. You can see the Magna lock on the circle here. I don't know if that comes down. I've never flown it. In fact, we'll rent it here just for shits and giggles. it's just opening. Okay. Okay, let's get out. I don't know if I have to click the body or the sign. I'll figure it out here in a minute. I'm going to rent this one, but I don't know. I would think that would be kind of cool if that came down to pick up whatever you needed, but we'll see. Here's another tractor beam in the front to manipulate cargo. Oh, I guess you're supposed to rent them up here now. There we go. Now I have it for 2 days. Again, right now, you can rent whatever's on the floor. You get it for 48 hours, 2 days. Um, when the event is over and you're in the final week, there will be a terminal that you can rent everything again until the end of the show completely. So it's more like there's a week of showing everything off and then kind of a week of playing with everything if you choose. This is the 300 series. This is the 325. Again, they're only putting out the military versions. Um, this is not a light fighter, but it's a light fighter. This is my shuttlecraft that I use to kind of just go around and do short trips with, like when I came down to the planet. I love it. It's sleek looking. We've already been through it, so I don't have to jump inside. This is the 200 series. I find this to be useless in my opinion. I might just collect them later on because I'm an Origin fanboy, but I don't see the need. It's more like a ground pounder version of a 325. But you got a little cargo stash here, and you can close it with that switch. You got your bed, you got your seat. There's no eating area or nothing in these. These are really small. Um, it does give you a little SCU of cargo to do some mission running. It's nice. It just isn't something I need to get for now. But that is your attack versions. There is a base model to both of those series. There is a cargo model to both of those series. And I know there's an exploration version to the 300 series, the Pathfinder. I don't know if there's one like that for the 200 or not, but for the 300 there is. The Pathfinder edition. It's got a sensor array in the front instead of that chin cannon. This is going to take me a second to walk all the way across. I saw you on earlier, Gib, but I couldn't get over to your server. Oh, Gibbles left me. Oh. Ooh. Yeah, they did patch and change some of the key bindings again. You do know how to jump now, right? I can't talk about the Cutlass Black. It's not Drake week yet. I'm just kidding. Yeah, they changed the jumping. Instead of pressing B, you hold it to spool your engines up, and then instead of holding B to jump, now it's left mouse. No, left. Left click. Yep. All right, we are now in the other side. Some of my favorites are here. Here's the Aurora series. Absolutely useless, but they're classic. I will probably own one in-game just to have if we're able to display our ships in our private hangars and whatnot. I'll probably have one just because this was, I believe, the first ship they made back before there was even a universe, and all there was to do is get out in a hangar and pull the ship and take a look, which was the mid, was it about 2014, 2015, when Solda first tried getting me into this game. Um, they're cool looking, but in today's ship industry we have now, they're kind of useless. This is the Mantis. This is an important ship. It is a absolute garbage fighter because that's not its role, but that's what it can do as well. The Mantis, uh, is to go up. Here we go with the clicking shit again. Da, 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 da. This is an older ship. Does not have the gold standard yet. As you can see. Did I click it? All right. It's not that important. Come on. All right. Well, we're not going up in it. It's not that big anyway. But the cool thing about the Mantis, we'll come back here and take a look, is the hole in its chest. Oh, it's covered. That's why I wanted to go inside. So right there, I believe it's right there. I know it is on the top. I'm not going to be able to see any of it. Anyway, this is what's called a quantum snare. This is an interdiction ship, so pirates will be using it as well as bounty hunters slash UEE police. And when you're flying in quantum and it takes you 10-15 minutes to fly to another area, so you're in the kitchen making a pizza and walking around your ship, somebody could be sitting in the middle of space with one of these lit up and pull your ship out of quantum. And then they can catch you, pull you out of quantum, and then they can spool the secondary quantum snare up, which is a dampener, and then the quantum dampener will prevent you from going into jump mode. So not only does it pull you out of hyperspace, relatively quote-unquote invisible, because you can't see people in hyperspace, it pulls you out of hyperspace and then it prevents you from jumping. So at that point in time, it's a race. But the ship is useless as an attack ship. I mean, unless you drop a Mustang or something. So this is obviously something that you would have with a nice fighter force to look for somebody, or piracy to look for cargo ships. You pull them out of quantum, this ship tails them, and oh, look at that asshole, goes right up in there without a problem. You follow your target, and then the rest of your guys are bombing and shooting the shit out of it so you can grab its cargo. It will definitely be a very, very useful ship if they don't make another one like it. Um, Very underrated, but it's just not usable right now, so it's why it's not really a thing. These are the rovers. There's three different kinds. We have the Lynx, which is the luxury version. This is my overall 100% favorite rover, and not just because on the inside there's DC purple. It's just cool. You get a back window. You can sit, like we'll see in a minute. You have side windows. Again, I love glass. I like good views. Those hubcaps are supposed to be over. It does it every year. I don't know why putting it in these centers it does that, but the cannon can be retracted down. As you can see, the rails, and when it gets retracted down, the barrels point up to be kind of tucked into the chassis. Again, RSI's. Wow, what is going on with the server? I am lagging like crazy. But you can see like all the emblems like we have now. Mercedes emblem and everything. You got the Lynx emblems in the front lighting up. It's cool little luxury features. You come inside, you get a light up emblem on the ground. You got DC purple. You got cool chairs. You can click the chair, and the chair will swing into the table. You have the view. It's kind of a wrap. So you got a moonroof, sunroof, and then it goes down to the back so you can kind of see where you're going, your side things. These computers will go up and down on those rails and tuck in if you don't want them out. I'm assuming it's just going to be for videos because it really has nothing to do with the rover itself. You've got shelving, lit up shelving. Someone stole the champagne, it looks like. And then you have a closed shelving, which is really cool. The plus is you can now put things places that you want it to go. The negative is they did not like magna guard these shelves or anything. So as soon as you take off or you hit a huge bump, if that door is not closed, and this one doesn't have one, I don't think, that stuff just goes flopping all over the place. Uh, Here's the cockpit. Look at these seats. Luxury white, clean, angular lines. It's got a bit of a sunroof itself. Very wide panoramic view glass. It's an awesome rover. One of my favorites. Just it is not a cargo one. So if you're doing box missions and stuff like that, it is a pain to use. I've tried, throwing things through that door. It can be done. It's just sloppy. The Tumbrel uh, rovers are much better for that. This is the newest one. This is the, I said Tumbrel. This is the Ursa Medevac. Now, the cool thing about this is it is an ambulance. You have the same entrances on the side as you do in the back of the other Tumbrel, or Novas, I should say. God, Ursas, I should say, whereas this does not have a back ramp. This back ramp gives you a medical bed where you can, I believe, hydrate yourself. So let's check. Lower left-hand corner is 41%, 61%. Oh, I have some damage. I must have jumped down from something. So let's see if it'll work. All right, you have your same hospital screen above you. You are able now, this probably will not be permanent, but to spawn once again in tier 3 beds. So it used to be a tier 1 or a tier 2 only. Well, it used to be everything. Then it was a tier 1 or tier 2 only. So the only one that could do it was a Carrack and an 890. Now all of the beds, so if you have a Cutlass Red, which is the ambulance for the Cutlass series, if you have a C8R Pisces, which is the ambulance for the Pisces series, or you have this ambulance for the Ursa series, you can now spawn back at your vehicle. Now you can see in the lower left, it did rehydrate myself, no problem. We'll check and see if I have owies. It says no injuries detected, so that must have been so light that it just took care of it laying down. But if I had a broken bone, the skeleton would show you where your issues were, and then it could fix you. I believe we went over the different tiers of. Oh, hello, got glitched. The different tiers of the medical beds when we were in the Idris yesterday, so I won't ramble on about that, but it's pretty cool. You can put some weapons here. I believe these cabinets will have some of the drugs that you can use. You got your medical guy seat, so technically you can take 3. Medical check-in. This is where you put your signature in, so you can respawn here. You're going to close right as I come up to you. That's what you're doing. And obviously your cockpit with 1 and 1. The passenger seat controls the gun. as your deployment exit. This is awesome. We've been asking for this as a community for a while. You should make an ambulance. This is perfect for it, and they did it. I don't know if they ever intended to do it originally, but they did it. The only thing that this lacks, I do have one now, but I don't see them anyway, is if they did it to the Cutlass Blue, they should have, and to the Pisces, the C8R Pisces, they should have put a light bar on this too. But I do not see a light package on this vehicle other than what a standard vehicle would have. So I don't know if this goes wee woo or not. But either way, it was needed. It is awesome and will be used. This is your regular. This Ursa Rover is your standard. I have the Fortuna, so it's a camouflage package skin for a paint job. This is what the base one looks like. Again, you have your side entry, you have your rear entry, and this is you can tuck these seats. Actually, I'll show you because it's cool. This is open and close, if it'll do it. Yep. So you can close the seats in the back. You can deploy with 4 troopers in the back and then a co-pilot and a pilot. So technically you can have a squad of 6. But if you put the seats up, then you can see the MagnaFloor, so you can put crates along the sides there and use this for cargo. Or you can have bodies, whichever you need. And there are gun holders, and then you have a locker for equipment, and then obviously your pilot, co-pilot. Cool thing about this is that seats are required now. You used to just stand around. Now with inertia and gravity and everything like that being compartmentalized in vehicles and ships, if you're just standing in a ship and someone takes off, you will fall down and you will take damage and you'll have to stand back up. Same thing in a vehicle. If you are not secured, then you'll go flopping around like a fish out of water. These are my second favorite heavies after the Lightning came out. These are the Scorpiuses. The right one is the Antares. That is your E-warfare ship. That is an EMP on the top instead of a turret. And then the regular Scorpius has that giant 4-barrel turret on the top. These wings articulate out and up and down. People call these the X-Wing fighter. I get it. It's an X. The ship design, to me, looks more like the Babylon 5 Furies. Either way, it is a X-Wing or a Fury shaped kind of a look to it. And these would be the missile components of the ship. You can see them sticking out, where you can fire a salvo of rockets, and there's rockets on top. This is a 2-person craft, and they have made the Antares, unfortunately, but fortunately, less OP for one person to be flying. You do need a second person in the co-pilot seat to actuate the EMP. So you can't be flying around shooting, EMP somebody, and as they're falling out of the sky, shooting, all by yourself. You have to have a buddy to do that type of fighting. And it does work because I got EMP'd while I was flying along the ground, and a guy flew right over me and EMP'd me, and I crashed into the ground and blew up. It was the most aggravating, funny thing I've done. Uh, so that was pretty cool, but it irritated the shit out of me at the time because I wasn't trying to fight. That's when it happens. And there are your cannons on the wings, that as the wings come out, those rotate out, and those are fixed. So that is your Antares and your Scorpius. All we have left now is to go downstairs to the holodeck. So that'll take a second. I have to run back in front of the Polaris and take a look. Gibbles, did you run through the halls yet? Uh, Man, you're having a four-course meal. I have not eaten yet because I wanted to make sure. Jesus, my phone. I wanted to make sure I got the Polaris taped before they removed it because that will make me sad. We don't know when it's coming out. It is scheduled before the end of the year. So they just have to tighten up the interior and then make sure it's yeah, I, it's pretty much done from what I understand. I think they're just tightening up, but that Polaris is definitely killing the show floor because it's not I don't know, what do you call it when it's not efficient? It hasn't been coded to complete efficiency yet. They just dropped the hull body into the floor. Looks like we got nothing in these little outlets, so that means there's nothing of physical left. We'll go take a look at these little plaques real quick because these are cool. One Empire gives you a little bit of a. Let me get rid of the chat. I didn't realize that was up. A little bit of history, lore, if you're into that kind of thing. Obviously, most are probably not able to read all of that as quick as I'm going through it, but you can pause, obviously, and come back. All right, we'll go check the Hollow Suite here. Pretty positive we're going to be seeing a Perseus. We're going to be seeing a Mark II Zeus. And what else would be back here? Oh, the G12 series. All right, so this is the Origin. Like the Connie, the Origin has its exploration version at one price point and its touring version at a lower price point. The exploration version comes with a G12 base edition. This looks like an AA, but it comes with the G12 base version, which is a rover with a gun, like every other rover we've seen, and that's out there. It's just Origin's version of, so it's going to be a little luxury, a little fancy design. Um, I'm assuming this is the AA because it's, yep, oh, A, G12A. The AA is the tumbrils. So that's the anti-aircraft version. It's got some missiles to it. Um, I don't know. I have one, obviously, because I have the Explorer. It looks like a giant egg with wheels. I don't know. I love Origin. We'll see what happens when it finally comes out. I actually thought it would be out by now, but they obviously were working on the ambulance, not the G12. What do we got over here? Oh, there you are, Solda. Your sexy beast. This is the RSI Perseus. This just came out 2 years ago, I believe it was. This is the battleship version of the Polaris. When I said the Polaris was more the sniper patrol type of ship, this is straight up come in and kick you in the nuts and finish you off ship. It has a giant deck turret in the front. I don't know if you should do it, but its advertising shows that this is so sharp and angular in the front that it's actually ramming through a ship while it's firing and tearing it in half. That's probably advertisement in the game, like we would have advertisement in real life that is saying you could do this. I probably wouldn't recommend it, but you could. Either way, the ship is awesome. And this is the configuration I almost wish I love my Polaris. I'm not talking bad about you. I'll see you soon. But this does have the top of the hull bridge look, which I would prefer on a ship of that size. Um, and it looks really cool. You can look out over the deck and see that cannon. I will be on Solda's ship immediately on launch day, and if he is not home, I will be calling and making him go home so I can see what that looks like from the bridge. But this ship is pretty awesome. I have too many big ships, or I would have got this immediately. This ship is epic, and I cannot wait. You can see from the front the very high angle point, and then the cannons. It just looks like it ripped through just about anything. That is a cool ass ship. Now, I'll probably hear a sigh over the mic because Solda will weep and cry. But they're doing the Polaris right now. The Polaris is they're doing this in a modular fashion. So one medical bay in the Polaris will look like the medical bay in the Perseus. And that's what they're trying to do. And they're doing this now to try to make the ships go faster. And they're doing this because the Galaxy, which is the modular ship, originally completely modular, is going to be next after the Polaris is released. And the Galaxy will look something of the Star Destroyer kind of triangle, almost like the Perseus. It will be less aggressive looking, but it will have modules for you can be naked, so it can just be a vacant room. Um, it has a cargo module. It has a medical module. It has a refinery module, and it will have a construction module. But it is not here to talk about because it is not a frontline attack type of military vessel. But I say all of that to say that because the Galaxy is modular, they're doing the Polaris rooms modular. So those rooms can be put into other, can be put into another, can be put into another. So when they finish the Polaris, which is the biggest, then they're going to do the Galaxy because it is bespoke by nature, modular, and then the Perseus. So I'm kind of hoping, since the Polaris took a year to make, that next year, because they'll have the room modularity and the Perseus will have a lot of the same that the Polaris has, that it will take half the time. So maybe the Galaxy will come out in 6, 7 months, and the Perseus will come out 6, 7 months after that. So it won't be like a full 2 year rotation before we get a subclass capital ship, battleship. Um, oh, he didn't sigh. He must not be here. So he loves that ship and wants it out just the same as I do. This is the Mark II. Yep. So here's the Zeus MR. This is your interdiction bounty hunter ship. Um, I have one of these as well. I have the Cutlass Blue because it's a wee woo police looking ship, but it had the Star Wars Han Solo and Carbonite type of bounty hunter capsules in the ship. It looks really cool. I will not get rid of that. This probably will be my go-to bounty hunter ship um, when it's released. The ship looks epic, and all of the RSI ships look so damn cool and aggressive. They look like mini Star Destroyers. So obviously, RSI is my go-to military stuff, just like Origin is my go-to luxury. But I believe that is it, people. So that is day one after our snafu on the real day one because of the Idris tour. I did not come down and do this video. So that this setup is technically still day one. I wanted to get it in before losing it. We'll do a day two probably this evening, but that is all we have. And I will run back up the stairs to get one last in-person look. God, I love that shit. Oh my God. Oh, I, I need a minute. That ship is so awesome. So big. All right, people. That is your RSI Polaris. That is what we've been waiting for. That is what